Hi there, welcome back to my channel. I am going to share with you what I sent my patrons for the month of August. This is the Patreon tier. So they all get a newsletter. And this month was a potpourri or potluck theme. And because July was a very compressed month, I wanted to kind of give myself some time to build up some basics again. And so I thought this would be a great month to kind of be a potpourri theme. So there's no certain theme, but it's a lot of different basics that can be used in any type of journal. So the first thing I made was this music page quad pocket, and I stuffed it full of just a fun mix of new and vintage items. So like we have, here's an old vacation slide. We have some Tim Holtz pieces in here. We have some little miniature doilies. This was from an estate sale. I had a couple different photos in this estate sale, I guess of maybe the daughters. I'm not real sure, but I wanted to include those. And then some more Tim Holtz. We have a vintage Rolodex card, some more Tim Holtz fun pieces, and more Tim Holtz, and then some labels. So you could use a lot of these items to decorate up this if you want to. Then I also made a fun little accordion pocket, and I just love these so much. So this is Tim Holtz wallpaper, and this so you could glue this down and make it a pocket on the page or a side pocket. And then I made a fun little inky tag that you can decorate up. And then I included, each one is different, so I included a little flower that can be used if you wanted to ink it up and put it on the front of this. And then here we have a coin envelope. There's paper clip, a brad, and a charm in there, and and some little stickers. So it's a great kind of a restock, and I liked calling it potpourri just because in potpourri there's a whole lot of different things. So here, this is a vintage bingo card, and I decorated each one's a little bit different, and I covered the back with some old stationery paper. So you could use this as a journal card, so like you can put it behind the page in your journal and do some writing, or you can write on the back of this. You could make this a tuck spot or a belly band. So a lot of different ways you can use that. And then I love embossing. I need to do it more because I forget how much I love it. But this is just a fun craft envelope, and I decorated it up. So I inked up the embossed image and then did a little bit of collage on there. So again, each one's a little bit different, the decorations. We have a vintage postcard, and we have a vintage envelope. I love these so much. I've had these in my stash for a long time, so I just love the color of them. So it's fun to finally part with them and share them. Some Tim Holtz collage paper. So the collage paper, it's also fun to take a little piece of that and collage it onto here, like cut that out. That's always fun to do. And then we also have, I was just playing around with these time cards and embossed them, and so I thought I'd include them because they're just I just love this. It's so cool. And I got these at Staples. I like them way better than the Dollar Tree one because they're not glossy. And price-wise, it's about the same price per card. So check out Staples. And then we got an Edith Holden page. Again, each one is different. We have a sheet of these old, they're not Top Value. I forget what brand they are, but they're essentially like a Top Value stamp. And then we have a cute little butterfly page, vintage. a vintage bird page. And what I love about these is you could cut each one of these out and make them into pockets or tags or whatever you wanted to do with them. And then this really pretty garden page. I did tuck it up just a little bit so it fit in the packaging a little bit better. And again, each one's different. And then I tried my hand. I've done coffee, tea dye, and avocado dye, but I hadn't done any other colors. And so I had a little bit of fun making, these are kind of some blues, and included that in there. So this is the bluegrass pack. Again, I always go overboard. I can't help myself. One day, maybe I'll make a little bit of money off this Patreon. But right for now, I'm having a lot of fun. So this is the bluegrass tier. These are the items that my Kentucky Mint tier will be receiving. So they'll receive a little mini journal. It's 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, made with Tim Holtz papers, and I used a hinged method to put the signature in there. I have a flip through of all of the ones that I made if you want to check that out. I also have these music quad pockets, and I've chucked them full of all kinds of fun little vintage pieces here. Vintage playing cards, and then some newer items, vintage postcard. Lots of fun things for them to use in there. I also have put some tags and other things inside the journal. And then we have an embossed envelope that I decorated up, and an embossed time card. And I love how these come together. So they can use these in the journal or for some other projects. This is the Kentucky Mint tier. I always like to do a flip through of my final journals. These are my Tim Holtz journals that I posted a earlier video on while they were in progress. And here is the final look of them. So I have this little paperclip charm. Now they can either leave this here or they could clip this to a tab on the side of the page. But there's a Tim Holtz token on there. Then we have this label, and this is removable. So if they want to change that out at some point. And then I used the Tim Holtz papers from his release that he did earlier this year. And I'm also used the Tim Holtz fabric tape. And then I did a sewing detail all around the edges and down the fabric tape on the spine. And I love how all that came out. And I did a little kind of fabric and lace cluster back behind the label holder. And then on the inside, so it's decorated a little bit. So like you can see, I did some stenciling here, and I added some lace, crochet lace trim onto this first page. And then I added a little bit of the Tim Holtz collage paper, and then some other stenciling. So each journal is going to be similar, but they're each a little different. I did make them a music paper quad pocket, and I've stuffed it full, and I've just paper clipped it right now so they can, you know, if they want to, they can glue it in this journal or they can use it elsewhere. And I've chocked it full of a bunch of fun little goodies in there, so I'm going to leave that as a surprise for them. And then we have just a little fabric tape tab. Did a little stenciling on the envelope. And then here's some blue dyed paper I experimented with. And then we have our ledger paper from 1902. Here I made the embossed envelopes and decorated them up. And again, I just paper clipped this on, but they could glue it in, or they can just wrap it around the page however they want to. Then I have this pocket here, and I've filled it with some fun little goodies, this embossed card, and each one will be different, the goodies that come in here. We have this, the back side of the signature, another little tab, and then the back of the signature, and I did a little stenciling back here. Here is the next one. Again, very similar but different charm, and different cover paper and back paper, and I sewed around the edges. And then inside, again, the stenciling, a little bit different type of trim in here. Some stenciling on the music page. Oh, and I also added some of the faux aged tape in that first journal as well. We have the envelope and another little stenciling there, the fabric tab, and then the little aged tape. I did that on the first journal as well. And also have the, oh, I forgot to show you this, the accordion pocket. And that was in the first journal as well. So we have the little accordion pocket and some little tags in here. Love that. And then we have the little, oops, I paper clipped this to 2 pages, it looks like. There we go. That's why it's always good to flip through these. So this gets paper clipped to this page. Here's the center of the signature. I love that. And another fabric tab. Then this is the little pocket, music paper pocket stuffed full of goodies. Some more book page. And we have our collage paper here. And then we have this pocket, again, filled with the little goodies there. And some more stenciling. And some stenciling back here. I love these birds. Here is the next journal. Different charm. The cover is different. Very pretty. And the back is different. And I used a kind of a brown thread on these, and then I did more of a yellow stencil, fossilized amber, and some crochet trim. We have our collage paper, some more stenciling, some washi tape, fabric tab, the pocket full of fun goodies, and then I stenciled on the envelope. We have the embossed envelope. And then we have the accordion pocket in here. And then we have our music paper pocket. And some more stenciling. And then stenciling on the back. And then we have a different cover here. It's similar to the first one. Different little charm there. And then the back is really pretty, like the back. And then we got the stenciling, a different type of trim, some stenciling, the aged tape, the fabric tabs, the fun little pocket with goodies, the stenciling, the embossed envelope, and the tape. And then we have the fun accordion pocket. And these are the Tim Holtz wallpapers. And some more of the fabric tape. So there's still a lot left for them to decorate. There's the collage paper to decorate, and the music paper quad pocket. But hopefully this gives them a good little start. And then we have this one, different charm. The back is different, and each little cluster is a little bit different. We have the stenciling in here, some crochet lace, the embossed pocket, more stenciling, the aged tape. We have the accordion pocket, and we have stenciling there, We have the collage paper, the fabric tab, the aged tape, the quad pocket, some more aged tape, and then we have our pocket back here with the goodies in it. And then the stenciling back here. And we have this cover. We have the little label down here at the bottom. Different charm. The back. Pretty paper. Again, the stenciling. Some crochet lace. The stenciling. The aged tape. The fabric tab. The accordion pocket. The stenciling on here. The aged tape, and the embossed envelope, the aged tape. We have the pocket here, and we have the collage, and then we have the stenciling and the stenciling. And here's the last one in the collection, and I just wanted to show this is how I have them closed up. I have some of this fun trim from Taperlogy, and I have a discount code, and each one will be different colors. I tried to get colors that kind of went with the cover, but this is another bird one, a different charm, and here's the back. And then again, we have the stenciling, we have the crochet piece, some stenciling, the aged tape, the little accordion pocket. And I failed to mention, these are also Tim Holtz, his paper, and I turned them into tags. The little fabric tab, the pocket with the fun little surprises, the stenciling, the embossed envelope, and more of the aged tape. And we have some more of the tab, fabric tab. And we have the collage paper. And then we have the stuffed little pocket of goodies. Some stenciling. And then some stenciling on the back. So that is the collection for the month of August. And I am so happy with how these turned out. I really like how I cut the paper down so I had the pretty image on the cover. So thank you all so much, and I'll see you all in the next video. I will open up a couple spots in September, so if you're interested, check out my Patreon. And yeah, thank you all so much for your support. Bye.